All right, welcome back to the Elias Macko Show. One of those projects promised by the Plante administration was the development of a waterfront park in Lachine. It's a project that our next guest took pride in, but now that project is in limbo, to say the very least. At a city council meeting this week, the borough's new administration says the project no longer a priority. It's leaving many wondering if the project will ever see the light of day. Let's head over now to Maja Vodanovic, former mayor of the borough of Lachine. Maja, welcome back to the show.
Thanks for having me, Elias.
How's post-mayor life, by the way?
Very calm. Calm and relaxing.
Good. There are benefits there. So,
yes.
We talked about this waterfront park project quite a bit, right, over the last few years. I'm someone, I've said it on record, I think it's ridiculous that we're an island, the island of Montreal. There are so few places for Montrealers to enjoy water. Your project was part of the plan to fix that problem.
Yes.
Why don't you describe what the plan was before we get into this latest development?
Sure.
Share the vision with our listeners.
Okay. Well, Lachine is very special in a way because we are right at the beginning of the rapids. And we are very lucky because we have two artificial peninsulas that protect us from the rapids and that create two wonderful bays that are with calm, fresh water. It's just beautiful. And René Lévesque Park is huge. It's been there for a long time, and so was it. And now the Riverfront Park, both of those things now both of those peninsulas are being heavily eroded. And especially René Lévesque Park is losing about half a meter per year of land. And so trees are in the water. The peninsula of René Lévesque Park is very important to keep the rapids out of the bay so we can have all the sailing and the kayaking and the paddleboarding. Well, that is in shambles. It's like a cement infrastructure and it is completely crumbled. So I was worried, like, how the hell, are we going to repair this? And then in 2021, we said there was federal money. It was $40 million that we got with Valérie Plante to restore the shoreline. And it was like with bioengineering, the program was to really focus on, climate resilience, restoring vegetation, getting people back on the shores. And so we got this money, and it's been now since 2021. So it's been now, 6 years that we're on this project, and it's a very long process with the government, right? We need to put in the plans. The engineering plans were put in 2024, and we will only be able to touch the shoreline in 2028 because we're, in a back and forth with the Ministère de l'Environnement, and it all has to be perfectly good, and, we have to do the best practices. And this is now an ongoing thing, and I'm wondering now that my biggest concern is looking at this and going, oh my God, if they say this is not a priority, what is going to happen to this $40 million that has strings attached? It's not a forever thing.
What do you think is their reasoning here? I don't know if you've heard them say it out loud, or like, what's the reasoning here to stall on this one?
It's not clear. Mm-hmm. It's not clear. I think there is. I will let them talk about that. Yeah. For me, the important thing is that we've also done a lot of work to allow swimming. One thing is the shoreline, but the other thing is the quality of water, because in the western part of Lachine, there's too much current, and in the bay, it's like a perfect space for swimming, especially a spot that we've designed that is very deep, so you don't touch you don't stir the bottom. That is not perfectly correct, but we've done all the tests, and it's the only place that we know that it can be safe. And that too, it took years and years of tests and analysis and so much work. And now, finally, I think the last results were in, and it's all good, and we could do it. But I know for sure that was put on the back burner.
Does this save the marina, right? Because I know there some boat owners were not happy that you were getting rid of the marina there, right, to make way for this waterfront project. Does that also reverse that? Is the marina sticking around?
Well, I know that I know that all the marina people are very, very happy. And I know that they worked a lot to get the new mayor elected. But that was never, it was never in the public domain during the elections that the marina was going to come back. Oh. It was not ever, in no way did anyone say that was, well, I didn't hear, it wasn't in the engagement. It was never mentioned. So I don't know. I don't know where they're going with this, but what I'm worried about is the loss of money if we decide to reconsider, because Montreal, as you know, has many, many boroughs. They're all fighting for money. They all have wonderful projects. So, and I know from experience that if you hesitate on something, the money will go to somewhere else.
Yeah. And so can I ask you, was there, obviously you were going to get this federal money, right? And the question, are you actually going to give up this federal money by not doing this project? But
exactly.
But how would it have been really expensive for the city of Montreal on their end to complete this?
Well, yes. Well, it's $40 million just that we got from the federal. I think we got from the city of Montreal. They had committed to $25 million. Uh-huh. So that's $65 million. Yeah. And, the Lachine budget is our park budget is like $1.2 million a year. Yeah. So there's no way we can do this. We're doing the shorelines in the west, and just that cost us almost $2 million to do just a little bit.
Let me read you. Can I read you a text message we just got? Okay.
Sure.
Because I think it's interesting. I'd like to get your reaction. The listener writes back, he has tongue-in-cheek, cynical. Swimming in the Lachine Canal? This sounds as silly as the Verdun Beach. Insanity. It's a river system, not an ocean. I'll just say this off the bat. One thing I know about Verdun Beach, it's absolutely packed. Yeah. Every square inch is taken. Like Montrealers want access to a beach. Don't we need more of this, not less?
Yes, exactly. And I want to correct something, because many people get confused. They say in the Lachine Canal. It is not the Lachine Canal. The Lachine Canal is a very narrow piece of water. It's the canal. This is a bay. This is before the canal. So it's completely different. And it's the people want to swim at I think 5,000 people go there. It's a tremendous amount of people. Thousands and thousands of people go there during the summer. And it is so packed that people will swim elsewhere along the shoreline and get drowned because there's a lot of rapids there. So for me, what I wanted to do is really make clear where it was safe, where people could swim and remain safe. It would have been so wonderful for the people in Lachine. Not everyone is rich, not everyone has a chalet, and they could just get on their bike or walk down to the swimming spot and
enjoy water.
Themselves. Enjoy water.
Enjoy water on an island.
Yes.
Maya, listen. I've always said, look, I felt Projet Montreal's their blind spot is that sometimes you guys are too much of a nanny party. We're going to decide how you live your life, how you're going to do this, what products you can use, what you can get in the mail, all this kind of stuff. And I hated that side of Projet Montreal, but you always we need livable cities, and I just want to say, for Ensemble Montreal, that's their blind spot right now. A thing like this, their blind spot is, no, people actually want to live in beautiful, nice areas, and we want more green and more park, and it makes it easier to walk around with your children. And I wonder if they've got that blind spot. It's funny how the pendulum goes back and forth here. Yes. Maya, listen, take care. Great talking to you, and hopefully we'll get some developments on this one in the near future.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
That's the former mayor of the Lachine borough, Maja Vodanovic, right there.
Experience Bruno Mars live in Toronto.
Guess who's back again?
iHeartRadio wants to send you and a friend with flights from tripcentral.ca. 2 nights at Sheraton Centre Toronto. Tickets to Bruno Mars and $1,000 cash.
Don't believe me, just watch.
Download the free iHeartRadio app. Listen to iHeart New Music for 10 minutes.
I'm coming to get you.
Win your way to Bruno Mars.
Will you be there? Oh, I just might.
Every day you listen is another chance to win.